representing County Executive Astorino. So on his behalf, good morning to everybody. It's one of the great catering halls, catering institutions, wonderful locations in Westchester County. I want to thank Ron Steitzer, a good friend, for offering up his place this morning for an important meeting. We've been involved with the Green Business Challenge for a while. It's a fantastic program. Before coming to work for the county executive, I did a lot of work when I was at Burson Marsteller in the energy and green practice. And so to see so many folks involved, so many companies coming out and also spawning a lot of business. Many folks here are in the green business, which is great. Folks that want to get into that business and businesses that want to be green. So combined, it's quite a group, so thank you for coming out. You know, it's interesting in terms of the topic this morning and trying to communicate the importance of going green is a difficult task. And many times, you know, folks get involved in environmental stewardship and they hit a wall because often they are the only person within the organization, or there's two people and they have a secret meeting somewhere in a conference room and they realize that they both share the same passion, and then how do you spread that passion throughout the organization. And when I was watching TV last night, I'm sure everybody knows this is a presidential election year, right? The fascinating thing about presidential politics or presidential cycle is it's very similar in some respects to what happens within a corporation. There's the outside message. So a corporation is trying to get a message out that they're good, sustainable, environmentally correct citizens, and so they have that kind of outward message. But the real work that's done, that's really only the tip of the iceberg. What we see is really a very small portion of getting that message out. Below the waterline, right, the rest of the iceberg is where the action really happens, which is a incredible network of volunteers and consultants and everybody you can imagine, a network right now with our presidential politics in the millions of folks that have to have messages delivered to them, messages that they take to heart and understand, and then actions that they have to take and follow through so that it all rolls back up to the same effort. And so in getting green messaging out, it's not just saying that you are doing this, or we put in recycling cans, or we change our bulbs, or kind of the low-hanging fruit. The far tougher task and far more effective task is creating that network of individuals that you can deliver messages to and that they actually take action based upon those messages. And so my hope for the audience today is that what you'll hear and be able to have some takeaways is exactly how do you do that? How do you convert some of that activity, these good intentions, into activities, actions that spread throughout the entire organization. So everybody that you are connected to actually carries out what you'd like them to do. So again, on behalf of the county executive and myself, I want to thank you for participating in this. I want to thank Scott Fernquist, who works for the county, does a phenomenal job from our side in keeping this program going, and Danny, everybody knows Danny, Emil, and look around. And of course the Business Council of Westchester, because you need folks dedicated to this full time. Clearly this is a task that we all feel very passionately about, strongly about, but you need good people that are your foot soldiers that carry it out on a daily basis. So I want to thank them as well. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I don't think I think everybody can hear me. I'm John Ravitz. I'm the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of the Business Council of Westchester, and on behalf of Marcia Gordon, our President and CEO, we want to welcome everybody to this. I have one very first important thing that we just got to clear up right now. Jeremy Lin is pro-green. So everybody should know that. And we will get Linsanity and the Green Challenge combined together throughout Westchester County. We're very proud to be a co-partner with the county and with Con Edison, who's been a great supporter of this challenge, to help spread the word about why it's so important for businesses to go green. And you're going to hear more from the green team of Neil and Danny and Scott, more about what they're done and what the momentum that we see happening with our members as well as from companies throughout Westchester County. And that's the goal. We have 35,000 plus companies in Westchester County. We want to get as many of them involved in this program. We want to get as many of them to understand how smart it is for them to be involved in this green challenge, how empowered their employees feel by being part of transitioning them into being pro-green. And as Larry said, it's a process, but it's a process that can really help not only build enthusiasm within your business, but also help you meet new people and spread new initiatives that your businesses can come out. And you'll hear more about the updated website that the team has put together that's very exciting, the different type of programs now that they are offering, the services that they offer. Coming into your business, we're not saying here, do it yourself. These folks will come in and give you some guidance on what to look for. So it's very important that you're here today. We're excited to see so many people. We have a great panel. I also want to thank the Steitzers for, again, hosting this at Anton's. Two other events that the Business Council are holding in the next few weeks that hopefully you'll see these invitations in the front. Next Friday, Senator Kristen Gillibrand is coming to Westchester County to give her first business presentation on what she sees are initiatives and goals for the United States Senate for businesses. And that will be next Friday at Abigail Kirsch. We still have seats available, so please, if you'd like to hear Senator Gillibrand, please call our office or go on our website to register. And then we have something that, again, I think is one of the most exciting events that we put on, and that's our Mega Mixer, which is going to be on March 15th. The Mega Mixer is the largest trade show in Westchester County. We have over 2,000 people attend each year. We have an opportunity for businesses to really not only show their strengths and show what they do, but also it's a great networking event. But most importantly, we have something very special, which is one that I wanted to talk about this morning, and that's our Green Aisle. We literally have dedicated an aisle of that trade show for businesses who have already taken either the Green Challenge or already have green initiatives that they want to promote. So you'll see these at the front desk. Again, we still have room both for people who would like to be in our Green Aisle or would like to have a spot to exhibit their companies during the course of the Mega Mixer. And again, that's going to be on Thursday, March 15th from 2 to 6 at the Hilton Rytown. So hopefully we'll see many of you there. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the effort to learn more about the Green Business Challenge, and the Business Council of Westchester looks forward to working with you in the future. Thanks very much.
My name is Scott Firmquist. I work for Westchester County. I'm one of the organizers of the Green Business Challenge. Actually, just back it up. We have one mic, so we got to treat it with respect. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. Thanks to John Ravitz and to Larry for that introduction. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the program itself, because I think most of you are familiar with it. I see a lot of familiar faces. But just to provide a quick update on sort of where we are in terms of the program size and the development, we have approximately 200 companies in Westchester registered for the program, all sizes and industries, companies here in Westchester. We have another 100 or so local green product and service providers in our green business directory. For more information on our program, again, the program is open to all 35,000 businesses. We help companies become more sustainable internally, operate more efficiently, while save money in the process. The primary resource that we provide to your company is, we call it a scorecard. It's an internal tool that you use to measure your level of sustainability. We provide dozens, depending on the type of business you have, the type of building you have, we provide dozens of recommendations to you on how to operate more sustainably, with very detailed help links, resources, basically guiding you to where you need to go to implement the measures that we're recommending. The exciting announcement that I have this morning, and really why I'm up here, and it's something that the county has been working on for several months and dedicated resources toward, is an expanded web platform or website to support our program. I'm starting to feel a little bit like the boy that cried wolf, because I've used the word soon to describe the launch of this website for a while, but we are now days away, and I promise, from launching this website. The location of our current website, which is important if you want to learn more about our program, is westchestergov.com/greenchallenge. Although in the very near future, we've also purchased a few more domains, so you will be able to get to us through westchestergreenbusinesschallenge.com, .org, .net, and you'll find us that way as well. So the expanded site, and I know I've presented it in the past, but I just want to explain it again because many of you have registered, and you will be receiving an email in the next 2 weeks with login information for your specific company. With the help of our fantastic intern, Greg Pasacreta, somewhere here in the audience, we were able to import all of the scorecard data that companies have submitted to us to date into our new system. So you have now a customized profile, an entirely web-based scorecard with all of your information that you can now update moving forward through the web-based system. And log in, you have a profile, so you'll be on a membership listing. You'll be able to see detailed contact information for all of the other companies in our program, so that you can contact them and follow up after events like this and network and do what you need to do. We also will have a green business directory that's entirely web-based. The other exciting thing is that you'll be able to submit your green business case studies through the website, no more PDF forms and calling me and asking me to change bullet 3 on page 2 and whatever else we were doing to update the case studies before. So it's a much more convenient, it will be a much more convenient one-stop shop for our resources, essentially. And it's a very exciting step forward for us. We're happy to, the county is very pleased to have been able to use and leverage stimulus funds, believe it or not, from 2 years ago from the federal government to implement this measure in support of our green business program. So again, stay tuned for an email if you're in the program. And the exciting thing also is that even if you haven't completed a scorecard, and we know that there are about 100 or so of you that have registered but not completed a scorecard to date, and that's totally fine. We're happy to work with you still, and we're excited to start now with this new web platform in place. It'll make it much easier for everyone, and you will be sent login information to the site even if you haven't completed a scorecard, so you'll be able to get in there and do what you need to do. We are also going to be developing a training video, a very short couple minutes, explaining how to use the site and how to use the new application. So in case you have any questions, of course you're welcome to contact us, but there will be a sort of a tutorial on how to use the new application available through the Green Business Challenge website. The one other thing I want to mention about this site, and it's not something that you can see from the front end, but as an administrator of the program, we're very excited about the new data analysis capabilities of our tool. Data is power, whatever they say, and so what we're excited about is that it will now allow us to better track your progress. Of course, we're not publicizing unless you want us to, but from the back end, we'll be able to see what you're doing, what you're not doing, and actually customize the program based on the data coming in. So we find that very exciting because we'll be able to see, for example, which scorecard strategies a big majority of you are completing or not completing at all, and we'll be able to develop programs, educational resources around specific topics based on the data coming in through the new site. So from the back end, there's also some very interesting functionality that we're going to start to use in the future. So we look forward to receiving your feedback on this tool. Hopefully it doesn't break in the first week, because part of the reason the delays have happened is with everything else, I love IT, but it's always it's an up and down, it's a roller coaster in terms of getting things to actually launch, but we're very close, I promise. So next I want to introduce our speaker from Con Edison. Again, many thanks to them for being our platinum sponsor for 2 years in a row. Vincenta Guerin is an account executive in the Energy Efficiency Department at Con Edison, New York. Vincenta's customer segment is the federal government and property management companies. Her duties also include marketing of Con Edison's energy efficiency and demand response programs. Vincenta has worked in the customer operations department and was a project manager in the energy services department as well. She holds a BA in IT from the University of Connecticut. So I'd like to welcome Vincenta from Con Edison to say a few words about her programs and what she has to offer your business. Thank you.
Thank you. I have to stand on my tiptoes. Good morning, everyone. As you know, my name is Vincenta Guerin. I'm an account executive with Con Edison. I'm here to talk to you about Con Edison's commercial and industrial energy efficiency programs for electric and gas. Energy efficiency is a smart way to save money and help the environment. By using less energy, you lower your monthly bill, produce fewer air pollutants, preserve natural resources, and promote the use of domestic energy sources. With Con Edison's electric and gas programs for commercial and industrial customers, your business can receive rebates for certain upgrades, including lighting fixtures, LED exit signs, chillers, packaged HVAC systems, motors, and water and steam boilers. To participate, you must be a Con Edison commercial or industrial customer in an existing building who pays the electric or gas system benefits charge. That's one of the line items on your bill. You may not see it, but if you look close enough, it's there. The C&I program consists of 3 platforms: prescriptive, custom, and we incent energy studies. The prescriptive program is basically a bucket list of items that you can use for your projects, like a lighting project, where you can realize a $15 rebate per fixture for going from a T8 to a T5 lighting fixture. Another item would be variable frequency drives associated with your HVAC systems, which rebates approximately $60 per horsepower, and that's just 2 items on that bucket list. The other platform is a custom platform, which is basically anything that is not in the prescriptive. An example would be LED lighting for a parking garage. We would review the provided calculations on the savings to determine what the incentive would be, and the range would be between 9 cents per kWh to 13 cents per kWh, depending on the savings. We incent 15% of a consulting energy engineering study for a combined electric and gas study with a maximum of $67,000. On a single service, electric or gas, the maximum would be $50,000. One of the challenges for Con Edison to get this information out was awareness, customer awareness. So we have developed a website that explains this program and our other programs, because we have small, commercial, residential, and multifamily, as well as the C&I program. And you can find that on our website, which is www.coned.com, energy efficiency. We have a table in the back, and we have Judy Stasak and Stephen Morris from Lockheed Martin, who are our market partners, to answer any questions, as well as myself. Thank you. This is the information package that you can find in the back.
Hi everybody, welcome. We're so happy that all of you came out this morning. And so my role this morning is just to introduce the topic, because everybody's like, what is this about? And so the topic is how associations can help their membership go green. And basically, everybody here belongs to, because we asked you what associations you belong to, so you belong to professional associations, you belong to business associations, business associations such as the Business Council, some of you belong to civic associations, Rotary, etc. And so, you know, this is sort of a loose term for us when it comes to associations helping members to go green. So, you know, one of the whole point about an association, the generic term, is that it's a learning community. It's a place where people come together to learn something, and for us, it's a place for people to come together and learn how to share best practices. So I was just having a conversation just earlier with Brian McShane from Regeneron, and we talked about the fact that we're so appreciative of Joanne Deo, who has taken the Westchester Green Business Challenge program and spoken about it at IFMA association meetings. But we were also talking about the opportunity, because Regeneron is a leader in being green and in many, many ways, that they could also go and talk to BioHud Valley. They are, you know, part of that group of similar other pharmaceutical companies and spread the message that way. So, and he said, oh, that's really interesting, and that's what we're trying to encourage you to do. Another great example is we have Jacqueline Rosso here and Paula here from the Sisters of Divine Compassion. They've done an incredible job with energy efficiency. They've got a campus that shares a campus with Pace University Law School. They've got schools on the campus. They've involved their students in sustainability. They've involved faculty. And they're just really plowing forward. They're talking to NYSERDA about cogeneration. And the great thing is they represent a best practice of, there are other, you know, religious campuses in Westchester County that are really just starting to try and figure all this out. Well, what better way to learn about, you know, how to get going than to, you know, learn from those who are already doing it. So I spoke to Jacqueline yesterday, and she, you know, kindly offered to have that kind of a meeting. I believe that there are people here from Maryknoll and Dominican Sisters of Hope with big campuses like that. And this is the kind of thing that we're trying to bring together. So although they are not an association per se, they could become one, or just a group of people who are really following a similar path and can help each other out. So the role of the Westchester Green Business Challenge, and we have sort of a bird's eye role. We've asked all of you when you register for our program, you know, what industry you belong to. So, you know, we are in touch with a lot of you, and we're really here to connect you. We're here, we can connect you online, we can connect you through our social media programs, we can come to your events. As Scott said, we can start tailoring our, you know, messages to, you know, what it is that you need. We're working with the Westchester County One Stop, so we're learning about funding and incentives for the green job sector that are available for you. We can connect you to Con Edison, to NYSERDA. There are many, many people here from, you know, solar industry. So we've got our product and service providers here, we've got our businesses here, and so, you know, we're really here and able to sort of connect the dots for you. And this is going to be an incredible program. We have a wonderful panel, and they are really exemplify how membership, they're working with their membership to pursue green in many levels, from lead to and on. So it'll be very exciting. And then we're going to have a discussion with you, and we really encourage you to participate. Tell us, you know, your thoughts. What are the challenges that you think in order to bring this to your groups? What are the opportunities? So there we go. Neil Cutler.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, everybody. First, I'm going to introduce our terrific panel. Starting on the far end of the table, Lisa Corcoran, Director at Normet Hospital Association and the Normet Patient Safety Institute. The Normet is a trade organization committed to helping healthcare facilities in the Hudson Valley to increase their operational effectiveness and better meet the public's healthcare needs. Lisa is also the director at Normet Patient Safety Institute, the first patient safety organization approved by AHRQ in New York State. Its goal is to work with hospitals, physicians, and other healthcare providers to identify, analyze, and reduce risks and hazards associated with patient care. Lisa brings almost 30 years of healthcare experience, with a focus on quality, patient safety, risk management, and emergency preparedness. She's worked with hospital members to reduce readmissions, patient falls, and surgical site infections, and she hosts a very active case managers group, language assistance coordinators forum, and the mutual aid coordinating entity, a group of hospital emergency managers who assist hospitals that experience emergencies and disasters. We also have, on this side of the table, Bill Muzzio, lead accredited professional and senior vice president of construction and development with SL Green Realty. And Bill is also president of the local Building Owners and Managers Association, also known as BOMA, for Westchester County. As senior vice president of architecture, construction, and development, Bill is responsible for overall management of SL Green's architecture, construction, and development services. He oversees planning, design, construction management, and strategy development for the company's assets, as well as development, repositioning, tenant improvements, and capital improvement programs. He's also responsible for managing various consultants' policies and procedures, and manages the day-to-day operations of the construction team. Since joining Rexon in 1998, Bill has been intimately involved in the planning, design, and construction of over 7 million square feet of tenant improvements, repositioning, and development projects worth over $400 million construction dollars. Bill has over 20 years experience in designing construction, and prior to joining Rexon, he worked with Dennis Noskin Architects, Design Build Consultants, and John Brown Engineering and Construction. Ron Steitzer, in the center of our panel, owner of and chef at Anton's, where we sit today, our terrific host. Ron is also active past president of the New York State Restaurant Association, the Westchester Rockland chapter. Ron served as not only president of the Rockland Westchester chapter, but also held the prestigious position of state chairman of the entire New York Restaurant Association. He serves on the executive committee and board of directors of the Business Council of Westchester, and volunteers as a committee member of the advisory board for the Westchester Community College Culinary Department. And Ron has taught culinary classes at the New York Institute of Technology and Westchester Community College. And a word about our gracious host, Anton's of Westchester Catering is a full-service, on-site, off-site catering facility located here in the heart of Westchester County. Their Victorian mansion and private gardens cater to all types of social and corporate celebratory events, from weddings to bar mitzvahs, birthdays to retirements, seminars to business meetings, and don't forget their famous Sunday champagne brunch. Anton's is one of the founding members of the Westchester Green Business Challenge, and just a couple of the sustainability improvements that Anton's has taken on include upgrading some of their lighting fixtures, reducing water use in their air conditioning system, recycling not only common materials but also fry oil and ink cartridges, installing a new roof system that reflects heat in the summer to lower their cooling costs, and installing a more energy efficient HVAC system. So with that, this is our panel today. I want to welcome all of you and thank all of you for coming out. We're going to start with some simpler questions before we get into the tough ones. Curious, maybe some of you would like to talk a little bit more about some of the green things you've done either in your own facilities or that some of your members have done, just so you can share any of those stories with us. And don't feel that you have to answer every question, but whichever ones of you would like to contribute to any of the questions.
I can start.
Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Bill Muzzio with SL Green, also president of Westchester BOMA. As senior vice president of SL Green, I think you probably met our director of sustainability, Jay Black. He's been at a lot of conferences, and Jay's worked for me for a number of years, and was very happy to see him get that new position. We at SL Green have probably done a little bit of everything when it comes to sustainability. About 5 years ago, we started with a recycling program. We recycled ceiling tiles, carpet from the spaces that we've demoed and demolished and turned over for tenant spaces. We probably recycled 400 tons of material, I think was the last number that Jay gave me, over several years. So we've done lighting retrofits in our garages, we've put solar panels on our buildings. We've also just received a LEED EB Gold for 360 Hamilton, one of only 10 buildings in New York State. Excuse me. And then we also received LEED CI for our office space that we just built our corporate headquarters in 360 as well, and also helped Heineken USA receive their LEED CI Gold as well. So we've done, as Rexon, probably a lot, to say the least, and I've tried to translate that to our building owners and managers group by running our lunch meetings and seminars and having people come in and talk about what we've done and how we can help them do the same type of thing as in their building. It's really just sharing a lot of information.
Hi, Ron Steitzer. I own the Antons of Westchester for the past 27 years. Will be in June. So that's a pretty long time. We plan on being here at least another 15 years. My son is going to take over the business so I can retire. So to help my retirement, we could use all your business. This helps me to go away to different places, so I want to have a good time. So any business you can have, we appreciate it. I love the idea, I think Danny spoke about, contacting people in the same industry. Because there's a lot of people that do not understand. When we started out originally doing some things, I'm just going to take a couple minutes to tell you what things we have done. That might, in turn, you can ask questions about those. But if we don't understand who to talk to, that's the big problem, so you do nothing. So anytime that we can have a direct contact Danny or Neil and Scott, they can refer, like in my business, they refer to me in this industry or my son. Okay. Some of the things that we've done, in 2005, we contacted NYSERDA, and through NYSERDA, we managed to get a loan to do the air conditioning unit of $50,000, and at that time, I don't know if the same program exists, we paid 6.5% interest, NYSERDA paid 6.5% interest on a $50,000 loan, and we paid 1.5%. Now take that to any business, it doesn't have to be a catering business, it could be any business. So look at the big savings there. The only things you have to know who to contact and whatever. That's why the beginning of this conversation is really important. Some other things that we've done, we set energy reduction goals with our staff. So we use with our staff and say, listen, when we're not in this room, the lights are off, the air conditioner's off, the heating's off. Okay, so just the areas that you use. You can imagine the thousands of dollars that you're going to wind up saving if you do that. Even if you're in different areas, different type of businesses. We shifted the electric demands to the non-peak hours. So we for example, we have some electric equipment too. We'll do some cooking in the later times and not during the rush hour times, which happens to be on the demand factor for us. So if everybody's using the electric all at the same time, like in our case, then we would pay a bill based on the highest amount that you use at any given time. That's called a demand factor. So you got to pay close attention to that. We replaced the incandescent bulbs with the fluorescent lighting. Now like these bulbs up here in these ceilings, that's the energy stuff. Every year, every few months, they come out with new bulbs. So what you saw 2 years ago, they have new ones now. So if you couldn't have it before, they're going to have it now. They even have CFLs that you could put on a dimmer, where years ago they never had that. There's a big savings on the bulbs. They're more expensive, but they last, instead of 750 hours, they last around 10,000 hours. Lighting upgrades and so forth. We replaced the rope lights you see around the building over here. The rope lights, the old ones, there's a savings now from the old ones to the new ones of between 80 to 90% on those rope lights. So LEDs, okay, 80 to 90% savings. We installed motion detectors in some of the buildings which were not used, some of the rooms that we're not using a lot. Okay, any of the storerooms and so forth. So the motion detectors would go on if we're using a hallway like in the office area where we don't need the lights on constantly. When you move into that, the light goes on, you move out, after a certain minutes it'll go off. We have one reflector, one fluorescent bulb with a reflector in the fluorescent fixtures instead of two. We recycle plastic, paper, ink cartridges, glass bottles, cardboard, and so forth. The oil, they pay you now for. So if you're in a business that has to do with DeFi, your hotel, country club, restaurant, they actually pay you to come around and collect your used oil. Okay, and then they take that used oil and they use it for, believe it or not, some of it's used for feeding your cows and cattle and sheep and pigs and everything else. And they use the other ones. I know Larry Gottlieb has done it for the county for a while. They use it for actually gasoline. And that oil is traded on the market like the oil that you buy for your car and everything else. It's traded. There's a market on it. You can look it up and find out. We run the dishwasher when it's full. We have a 2-rack machine, so you don't put 1 rack in, using water and electric and everything else, so you have to wait. Now these are mostly concerning my business, but you can relate that to something else maybe. So we use, when it's 2 racks instead of 1 rack. Think of all the electric and all the water. We also getting a brand new machine maybe this week or next week that's going to use energy efficient, that's going to use, and I should ask Con if I get a rebate on this. But it'll be the saving on the water and on the electric cost. We changed the compressors from a water-cooled unit to an air-cooled unit. Thousands of gallons of water, water used to go through it and never recycled. So we changed that too, so it's the original cost. We have reflective window film on the windows in the other room. We have a special roof that we coated that looks like a silver paint. We coated the roof, which is supposed to reflect the heat. Now anybody can do that, it doesn't have to be a catering call. Can reflect the heat in a certain time. We use a lot of social media and emails instead of sending out mailings. We turn off refrigerators. I have 3 refrigerators that are turned off now, consolidated to 1. So it's 3 compressors, 3 electric items that you can save on. Instead of just, and it's very easy to leave the refrigerators alone, because that's the easy way out. Shut them down, empty them into 1, when you get busy again, open them up again. Replace your dirty air filters. Change the toilets. We changed to lower water usage and a powerful flush. We do that. And the last one is that a friend of mine has a catering hall in Queens. There's a company out there, and I'm not sure what the company is, but I'm sure Danny might know about it, that you can be put on a demand, I think it's called a demand factor or use factor, when they have to shut off the energy in the summertime. Okay, they have to consolidate, it's called like a brownout, okay? They cut the power, you can collect money. I think he collected $2,000 or $3,000 last year. And for us in the catering business, during the week when everybody else is using the electric, okay, and air conditioning, we don't really need it during the week that much. Okay, especially if you cut down the refrigerators, keep the doors closed, cut down the air conditioning and everything else. We're busier on weekends and at nights, when the power usage is less. So think about that, you can get into it, you can shut it down, and it's still voluntary. They're not going to shut you down automatically. You can still choose if you want to shut it down. But the incentive is the money back at the end of the year, and it can be thousands of dollars. So I'm finding out about this program, and I'm going to probably use it. Maybe someone from Con Edison knows how that works. Okay, any questions later? Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning, Lisa Corcoran, Norman Hospital Association. We're a small 6-person office, so we've done some things to help green our office, but I'd like to boast on behalf of one of our members, Burke Rehabilitation Hospital in Queens. They have installed a cogeneration plant, which operates in parallel with Con Edison, who supplies 35 to 40% of the campus's electrical service. They have 17 buildings and 60 acres. So the cogeneration system creates the remaining 60 to 65% of electricity, and 50 to 90% of the hospital's domestic hot water and heating requirements. The total annual savings after putting in the cogeneration plant was $270,000 a year, so that's pretty significant. They also converted all their T12 lights to T8 lights. They converted their fluorescent to electronic ballast. They put in occupancy sensors, motion sensors in all of their offices. They also replaced all of their exit lighting with LED type fixtures. They recycle their corrugated cardboard, glass and cans, paper. They shred all their data that's, has patient information on it. They shred that and recycle that paper. They recycle their kitchen fryer oils. They have special motion detectors for their paper towels. And they have 100% China service for patients, so they don't use disposables for their patients. Poreless toilet tissue, which, hospitals use an awful lot of toilet tissue. Chemical-free stripping machines for their floor care, fiber mopping, which eliminates wet mopping, and they use green chemicals. So we're very pleased to help support her. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa, for bringing that example up from one of your members of your organization, which is fine. It's not necessarily what we're doing as the association, but also how we can help our members go green. I'm curious from an industry perspective, and each of you are in 3 different industries, what are some of the challenges within your industry to going green? Maybe you've run into this on your own, or maybe you've heard from some of your members of your organizations. What's specific to your industry that you run into that makes it difficult to go green?
Money.
We at Rexon, we started with the small things, occupancy sensors, looking at recycling and energy efficiency items, and then branched into the more advanced type of energy efficiency and also items with rebates, replacing lights in parking garages and such, where we actually did a project up in Connecticut a couple of years ago where we did $1 million project. We got 50% paid for by CL&B, we paid for the other half, and the project paid for itself in less than a year. So we were saving $500,000 a year after that on our energy expenses. So a lot of it is figuring out and selling it to the senior management as to what the paybacks are going to be. If you're doing a project that's going to pay for itself in less than a year or less than 2 years, it's really just getting them to commit to the capital, which is a big item in our business, is where you put your capital in an office building, but reducing your operating expenses allows you to compete against the other landlords. If I can lower my cost, I can lower my rent, I can make my deals more attractive, and in selling that and in starting and taking small steps and taking advantages of the rebates that are available through Con Ed, through NYSERDA, and even through the federal government. If you look at all those different rebates and you start small, you can work your way up, and all those things grow over time and have allowed us to step to different levels where we then started looking at our buildings for ENERGY STAR scores, and now I believe it's 10 of our properties between Westchester and Connecticut have the ENERGY STAR designation. So in starting small again and in working your way up and taking advantages of rebates allows you to build your platform. So from ENERGY STAR, we went to redesigning our spaces, our building standards to incorporate a lot of the easy things to do, like I said before, which are light sensors, T5 lights as a building standard, and really to reduce your cost, which then allowed us to enable our tenants to go for LEED CI, as in Heineken, as in our space that we just finished, and also to get our LEED EB on our building at 360 Hamilton. So starting small and then growing big over time, and selling the rebates and incentives and paybacks to senior management and getting the money. The money is probably the money and the buy-in from senior management was the hardest sell.
I'll just say one more quick thing. The one thing that we need, I think all of us, is a cost analysis of why we should do this. Why it's important to do it now, because in 2 years, you just wasted 2 years and not have done it, because 2 years goes very quick. When I found out that LED is going to be that big a savings, between 80 to 90% savings, how could you not do that? I mean, think about these lights that you drive by, you see the lights lit up in the building all the time. The other one is why rebates. Con Edison does it because they're nice people, but nobody wants an electric plant in their backyard. And that's what you're going to wind up getting if you don't get into this. So what does Con Ed do? It's easier for them to give rebates. You can cut down energy so they don't have to build another nuclear power plant or some other plants.
Yeah, many of the hospitals are facing, enormous cuts from the Accountable Care Act. So they have to come up with creative ways of saving money and, to go green. One of the biggest things that the hospitals have done was look at their regulated medical waste. And I don't know whether you know it or not, but anything that's tainted by any kind of fluid from a patient has to be segregated in a red bag and carted off to a landfill somewhere. It's enormously expensive. So what a lot of people have done is they actually go to each red bag and, look inside just to make sure that everything that's in there is actually red bag waste. They've had to educate their staff because people are just throwing regular garbage in with the regulated medical waste, which then can't go through the regular waste stream. So a lot of people have reduced their regulated medical waste by up to 50% by just educating the staff on what to throw into red bag waste and what not to throw. Some others have invested in autoclaves, which they can actually take that red bag waste, put it through an autoclave, and then it can put it in the regular waste stream. So that's helped them save money as well. But as far as equipment, like the cogeneration plant and all of that, that's great, but a lot of hospitals can't afford to do that. So they do the best that they can with what they have, and that's basically how they're going green. As far as the hospitals, they really can't afford to invest a lot of money in going green. So.
Speaking of the high cost, I'm curious, as associations, are there opportunities to look at aggregating some of your purchases amongst your members and using that bigger buying power to purchase things in your efforts to go green? I wonder if any of you have experience in doing that, or if you see some opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
Most of our hospitals belong to joint purchasing organizations, and just because of the demand for green products and services, they've demanded from their GPOs to get green items, especially paper products and things, recycled paper products, and things that are more biodegradable and items like that. The floor strippers, green floor strippers, cleaners and things like that. So they made a concerted effort to do that. Some people are still kind of balk at the price because it is a little bit more for some of those items. But through a GPO, it's easier to get significant savings for green products.
With the New York State Restaurant Association, they have this booklet over here that I have to continually to read, because when you look at it, you start to forget what you read. So you got to go over it again and refresh your memory. But we have different agencies too that we contact concerning saving on electric and saving on gas as a group.
Really, just by changing your standards changes the industry and allows the cleaning supplies, the lighting. It's all really based on demand, and the building owners sharing information through the organization and through their own efforts are really forcing a change and forcing things to change.
Great, thanks for the segue for sharing information. The next question was really more about the challenge and some of the Green Business Challenge and some of the programs that we provide, and how we might be able to customize or tailor some of the tools and resources that we offer that may make them a little more benefit to your organizations or any organizations that our participants belong to. So just from the training side, I'm curious, we do our breakfast workshops like this one. We started recently a new webinar series, more targeted information sessions on specific topics or different formats could be conducted by the challenge for your industry groups. And I'm curious if there were specific topics or formats that you think would be helpful to your organizations.
We really started as a company. I mean, we created a position for a director of sustainability that just didn't exist several years ago. And in doing that, we talked about a lot of different platforms and how to share that information. And we have Jason Black, who's our director of sustainability. He's out there and he's doing the workshops, the seminars, talking to groups, and really looking to share information with the organizations. And we've had a great deal of learning experience, some good, some bad, and we've learned a lot from that. We're trying to share, and we've been doing a good job at sharing with a lot of the same business districts, and we even talked about some new initiatives on our website and social media, and really just helping people along with the things that we've done. We've updated our construction documents. We have an in-house architectural team. We do building standard spaces. In our business, a lot of what we do is a smaller tenant base, because that's what's in Westchester right now, the 5,000 to 7,000 square foot tenant, where they want to come in, pay the rent, walk into a space that's done. So in doing that, we've changed our standards on our construction documents and shared that information with our architects and made it a green standard so that all the work that we do with the exit lights, the lighting fixtures, the recycled content ceiling tiles, the recycled content carpet, the carpet that we've worked out direct deals with the mill, and we've shared the pricing power, the standards with other people in the industry, because it only helps to benefit us as well to get other businesses in line with what we're doing, and that way we can drive down the price and increase the technology. And the other thing is, even the garage lighting retrofits that we've done, I've been with Rexon for 14 years now, and I think we're on the third generation of one of our lighting retrofits, because the technology has changed so much. Every time we do it, it pays for itself. It's amazing to drive the technology, and to share that information and resources only helps everybody.
Yeah, that was a very good what Bill just said about it changes all the time. It's really important. You do something now and you say, well, you did it, but in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you've got to change it again. And one of the things that we have in my industry is there's not a lot of staff involved. So we're multitasking now. I'll answer the phones, I'll clean the toilet, I go in the kitchen, I do this, I clean the garage, I gotta paint. We do everything. So we don't have a dedicated person in our industry right now to do these things. So that's a little bit of a problem. Another thing is, I talked to one of the gentlemen, I think he was from an HVAC company. So I was telling him about partnering. He could partner with somebody else, get a hold of a bank, okay? And then when he goes to visit somebody, he already knows the banker. The bank can get in touch with NYSERDA, and he can coordinate this loans together instead of just waiting until somebody calls him up and says, my HVAC unit's broken. Well, you maybe need another one. How do you do it? He knows, he tells someone else, that tells somebody else. That's one of the things I find out in my place.
I actually met Danny and Neil at the Westchester Putnam Workforce Investment Board, and they inspired me to get the group of environmental services directors from all of our hospitals together to start discussing ways in which they can help improve their green efforts in their hospitals. And we discovered when we were having this discussion that some are much farther along than others, and you think that the little hospital up in Sullivan County or whatever wouldn't be green, but they are. So by continuing to keep the Environmental Services Director Committee together and sharing and everything else, I think that that's really helpful. The problem is, you know, we have 7 counties and the Westchester, you know, green challenge is Westchester County, so. But they've all been able to benefit from the advice that Neil and Danny gave them, so we're very fortunate to have this alliance. Thank you.
Curious if anyone from the audience who's a member of any association, same question. If any of these workshops or seminars that we've been giving through the challenge could be adapted to be of better use to your organization so that the members would be able to take advantage of a lot of the services and help them on the green process. Would anyone like to comment on what they think would be an improvement or a customization that they'd like to see? Anyone? No? Okay. No one wants to volunteer. All right. We're moving to the next topic, which is funding opportunities. We heard from Con Ed earlier. We also know that NYSERD has been mentioned. And on our website, we have lots of funding opportunities from those 2 organizations and others listed. But how do we best get those out to the organizations and your membership so that they know about these things? Is there a better way to forward this information? What ideas might you be able to share that you think would help that process for your membership?
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask that question to the NYSERD and Con Ed people and how they can
Absolutely.
do that.
Yeah. Liz?
Hi, thanks. I'm Elizabeth Sillick. I represent NYSERDA with the Energy Smart Communities program along with my colleague Melissa Lopez. And thank you guys for mentioning NYSERDA so frequently. I'll just say really quickly that we do have a financing option available for small businesses at this point. It's not the same one that Rich used, but I can get into more detail about that, you know, in person. We do have programs for larger facilities. The existing facilities program has a similar program to what the Con Ed rep was talking about, where it's performance-based. Demand response is actually something that we will consult the customer with to determine whether it's appropriate for their business with the larger business. We have a variety of programs, but really what we'd like to do is have the opportunity to speak through the industry association, so I'll definitely be speaking to all of you after the program. And if you have any questions about specific programs, please approach us, get our card, and we can walk you through the process. Thanks.
Thanks, Liz. From Con Ed, anything to add regarding access to funding information?
The funding information that I spoke about earlier is on our website, which is coned.com, and you go to energy efficiency. The C&I program, commercial and industrial portion, is a rebate incentive program. We do not have financing. There's also other programs, which is small business, residential, and multifamily. Again, they're all rebate incentive based. There's no financing at this point. Maybe there will be in the future, but not today.
Thanks, Ms. Zente. Another resource that's available through the challenge, through our partnership with the Westchester Putnam One-Stop program, is workforce training. And we've actually placed several interns last summer into jobs locally in the green sector. I'm curious to either the panel or the audience, if there are particular areas that your industry would need training in that's related to something green. So whether it's marketing for a green product or service, or it's training your housekeeping staff to use green products. Anyone on the panel have some ideas of training needs in the green area?
This is just something that we're not sure about, so that's why I think that question is kind of hard, because we're not sure exactly what that means. I mean, when you say an intern, you say this, is it a cost factor? It's not a cost factor, it's a volunteer situation. I think that in the industries, though, if we're going to have to, like in my particular industry, we have to have examples of what somebody did. Okay, because that's how we can do it, because there's a time structure there. They're busy doing something else. As they're talking to this person, already talking about 3 or 4 other things that they have to do. This is what goes on now. But we can have good examples of things that somebody in the same industry, hospitals, hospitality, building, I mean, if we can have that examples and they can in turn bring that up, how they manage to take care of it, that would be a big help. And then have a meeting so they can relate to somebody in the same industry. And then have a group meeting in the industry.
For BOMA, BOMA offers a lot of courses for property managers, for engineers, and certificates for education in green cleaning, in operating a building, and it educates and gives a certificate to recognize the fact that the employee's been trained, and we encourage all our employees to be involved with that. I took my lead AP test a couple of years ago. 3 of my project managers took it, and 2 of my architecture regional architects took it, and all of us passed. Thank God the first 9. It was a very difficult test, but you know, we passed, and we were very excited about that. It's definitely another impact. So the training through BOMA and through some of the organizations is available. It does cover the green initiatives and helps the people get up to speed on what's going on in the industry.
One last quick thing, I would have probably never even started what I did years ago if my son wasn't involved with me with the Restaurant Association. I would have still probably been doing the same thing. But I'm sure because I did that, and you hear information about something, then I went to the other person, and I wound up saving probably thousands of dollars over the past few years.
I just want to also mention that I work with Donovan Beckford in our Office for Workforce Investment, and he's actually released a couple RFPs recently specifically for sector-based training efforts, and one of the sectors we are focusing on is green. So there are specific funding opportunities available for associations, groups of companies to come together and collaborate around a common workforce training need. So an example that we have, I forget what sector it was, but there was a very specific sales training need within one of our local